This podcast is brought to you by lineupmedia.fm.
Greetings, everyone. Master Grogan here, ready to rock your world with another exciting Kickin' Life podcast. Hey, as you know, we talk about it a lot. Not if, but when the world kicks your butt, I'm here to motivate, inspire, and kick your butt back up. And that's the whole essence of the Kickin' Life podcast, to help you live your best kickin' life. So buckle up. Here we go. All right. Welcome, Kickin' Lifers, to another exciting Kickin' Life podcast. Hey, as always, if you have not checked out our previous episodes, what are you waiting on? Come on. Of course, you got to listen to this one first. So finish this one and then go back through and listen to the previous ones. Every single week, I promise you, I'm going to give you everything I've got. I'm going to dig in deep, do as much research, attend as many conferences, talk to as many people as I can to bring the best information, the best content, the best knowledge, wisdom to all of us to help us all live our best kickin' life. And of course, one of the previous episodes, I talked about self-respect, and that's respecting yourself by doing the very best you can to be your very, very best. And that kind of ties right into our quote for the day. And what I've been doing on the last, I don't know how many different episodes, but kind of picking a quote that's right for what I feel right for the week or right for what we need to hear, the right quote, the right hook of reality to kind of base the show off of. And today's quote, and this is from Jim Rohn, and then Tony Robbins also says it a lot. And it's, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. Well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Let me say it again. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. Well, that makes sense. That's so simple. It's so easy. There you go. Show's over. You got all the knowledge and wisdom you need. Just go with that. If you don't like what you're getting, then you probably need to change what you're doing, right? If you like what you're getting, keep doing what you're doing. Should I just end the show there? No, I'm going to keep going. All right, that's what I'm going to do. That ties into the next quote, and I think they go hand in hand, and it's by Albert Einstein, and it is the definition of insanity. Do you know what the definition of an insanity is? I bet some of you do. For those that don't, and those that need a reminder, I'm going to read it to you. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Now, that is insane, isn't it? It's like, I keep touching this hot stove, and I keep getting burnt. Man, why do I keep getting burnt? Because the stove is on. Same action, right? Turn the stove off, or just quit touching the darn thing. And I know I'm being silly there, but that's an analogy we all can relate to, right? So if we keep going, we keep banging our head against the wall, and we keep getting a headache, well, we probably need to do something else. Maybe quit banging our head against the wall. Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And it ties into the Jim Rohn quote. If you do what we've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So what am I trying to say here? I think you got it, but I'm going to give it to you anyway. Bang! Right hook of reality, right? It is. If you want something better in your life, you're going to have to make the change. Just because you've done something for so many years doesn't mean you have to keep doing the same thing. You were born with a God-given gift, a purpose, something different than anybody else in the world. Now, what is that gift? I don't know. I can't help you with that. You've got to find that yourself. Everybody say, hey, man, I'm listening to this show so you can help me. I can help you look inside yourself. I can help bring out that inner spirit. I can help you live your best kickin' life. But, of course, you've got to make the determination to do it for yourself. I can't jump through the radio here. I can't jump through your phone and grab you and pull you out. I'm hoping my voice, my energy, my passion, my excitement is going to help start that fire, or that fire hopefully is already going to turn that light a little bit higher, get that flame going, get that inspiration, that motivation to help you live your best kickin' life. But, of course, you got to be the one to do it. You have to do it. And do it for yourself. I know, it's like, well, that's selfish. No. You've got to take care of yourself first, because if you're no good, you can't help anybody else. You got to be the best you can be. And I talked about in another previous episode, one of my mentors gave me a right hook of reality and asked me, what did I do? Terrible. Anyway, he asked me if I enjoyed disrespecting those I'm meant to serve. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, dude. I give everything I've got. Everything I've got. He goes, oh, I know you do. But when you only got 50% to give, even if you give 100% of that 50%, it still only boils down to 50%. And his whole point was you've got to take care of yourself first. You've got to respect yourself first in order to be your best. And the example that I give all the time and you've heard constantly, think about when you're on an airplane and the captain or the stewardess comes on and talks about the message. If the cabin pressure changes and the oxygen mask drop down, put your mask on first before put it on your child. You think, well, I want to save my child. Well, if you're in the midst of trying to put it on your child and you pass out, then you both are out. Put it on yourself first. Make sure you are functional and then put it on your child. Now, I'm not saying take all day with it, but that gives right back to what we're talking about with self-respect. You've got to take care of yourself first. So if maybe you haven't taken care of yourself, maybe your nutrition isn't where it needs to be, maybe your exercise and health and fitness isn't where it needs to be, maybe your emotional side isn't where it needs to be, maybe your spiritual side isn't where it needs to be, take care of those things. Now, of course, the number one reason, you know what, that's not even a reason. It's an excuse. The number one excuse that everybody gives. And believe me, folks, I wore this excuse out for the longest time until I had this enlightenment period. And it's like, oh, wait a minute. These excuses, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. I'm getting the same result. I got to change. I got to change these excuses. I got to catch myself. Every time an excuse comes up, I got to get rid of it. Now, easier said than done. Of course, everything in life is easier said than done. But you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. And, of course, the number one excuse, I know I circle it around. Those that follow the show all the time, bing, bang, boom. The number one excuse is, say it, go ahead. I don't have time. Really, I don't. I don't have time. I don't. You don't understand my schedule, man. I've got this. I'm like Mr. Mom running my kids all over the place. I'm running a business. I do a podcast. I'm writing a book. I go to schools and give speeches. I just don't have time. Yes, we do. It's a matter of how we manage that time. We're all given 24 hours in the day. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're the wealthiest person in the world or somebody who, is scraping to get by. We're all given 24 hours. We cannot buy more time. We can always make more money. And I say that and I always have to laugh because I'm thinking, man, I say that and, end of the month when I'm like, gosh, Jordan, am I going to make payroll this month? Nowadays it's not as bad as it used to be, which is fantastic. But it used to be every end of every month was like, oh my gosh, it's stress time because am I going to make payroll? Things have gotten better, of course, because I changed some things. That's how they got better. They didn't just magically happen. You have to make some changes, right? Definition of insanity. Yeah, there we go. But anyway, time. We have time. We can always make more money, but we can't make more time. And I read something not too long ago, and I've shared it on several video blogs, several speeches, and you've probably heard on the podcast before. There's 86,400 seconds in a day. There's 1,440 minutes in a day. Let's go back to the seconds. Let's think about that 86,400. Let's think about that in terms of dollars. If at the beginning of the day you were given $86,400 to spend in any way you want, it's yours, baby. You can do anything you want with it. What would you do with it? Well, essentially, that's what you're given. You're given 86,400 seconds to spend any way you want, to do anything you want with it. And, of course, a lot of people, when I say this at speeches and assemblies and conferences, they'll say, well, man, I would bank it. I'd spend some of it, but I'd bank it. Well, that's a great plan, especially if you're investments and wanting to plan for the future. But here's the deal. Every single second, that dollar ticks away, and goes away. You can't save it, just like you can't save time. Put time in a bottle. I've heard that many times. We've all heard it. You can't do it. You can't do it. Time is going to tick on by. And if you think of those seconds as dollars, every second you're listening to this. That's why I try and give you everything I've got. I pour my heart out, energy and passion, everything into the podcast, everything I say and do. I want to give you the very best I can. And I know I'm hyperactive. I know I'm energetic. But gosh darn it, I know how sacred your time is. So I'm going to give you my heart in order to help you be your very best. Why? Because that's my gift. And that's taken me forever. It took me 48 years to figure that thing out. Ever since I was a kid, I was told, Richie talks too much. It was on every single one of my report cards. Richie talks too much. And I was told countless times, Richie, when are you going to grow up? Richie, when are you going to be a man? Richie, when are you going to stop playing around? When are you going to mature? When are you going to stop living in fantasy land? When are you going to stop and all this stuff? Now, I don't know if I ever lived in fantasy land, but I always had visions of being a better person, to be my very, very best. Always had visions of doing a podcast before I even knew what the heck a podcast was. Just about speaking and giving my all to help empower people to feel better about themselves. And why? Because I've been on the other end, baby. I've been depressed. I've been beat down. I've been bullied. I've been in a stage where I just didn't think I was worthy of living anymore. Yeah, I've been there. And those mental demons, boy, when you're at your weakest point, that's when they come calling. They come there, and they try and keep you down and beat you down, just like the intro says. You know, like Rocky says, the world's not all sunshine and rainbows. It can be a mean, nasty, ugly place that'll beat you to your knees and keep you there if you let it. You, me, nobody hits as hard as life. But it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Yes! I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. And I bring that out of just about every speech. So anyway, I got a little distracted. I know. But the whole point is all about that time. It's going to go away, baby. It is going to go. It keeps ticking on, ticking on, ticking on, ticking on, ticking on. Make sure we use that time wisely. Make sure we use that time to get the best out of it. But make sure we use that time to help ourselves become our very best, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And you can put those in any order you want. That just kind of flows. I mean, if I had to choose an order, now that I'm thinking about it, spiritual would be number one. You know, making sure you're right. And I'm a born-again Christian. I was baptized almost a year ago. Best day of my life. It truly, truly was. It was just so great, kind of coming clean, if you will, and just, I don't know. It was a great connection. Now, you can believe in whatever you want to believe in, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. If you believe in Buddha or Allah, I don't even want to start saying all these other things because I'm getting excited here. And just maybe a higher power. But there's something out there that is bigger than we are. So that's what I'm saying about the spiritual side. And the spiritual side could just be being a good person, putting that out in the universe. You know, the law of attraction, the pay it forward. That's a spiritual side as well because you're doing right by others. And the emotional side, that would, to me, I don't know if that would necessarily be next. I think I'd have to go, since I'm energetic and hyperactive, probably the physical and then the mental and then the emotional. So I've got the spiritual and emotional as the bookends, kind of keeping everything in together there. But you put them in any order you want, but those need to be in balance, sort of like a table. You got one in balance and the others are not, that table's going to wobble. Now, here's the thing about life. It's never going to be a flat line because, well, you know what? Let me step back. Let me say I hope your life is never a flat line. Why is that? Think about it, folks. What's a flat line? Beep. Yeah, you're dead. You don't want a flat line. That's not a life to live. So you're going to have some peaks and valleys. You're going to have the roller coaster ride. You're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have sunny days. You're going to have rainy days. I get it. And you think, well, man, the world would be so much better if it was all sunny days. Would it? If we didn't have a rainy day every once in a while, we wouldn't really truly appreciate a sunny day. I know. And I'm a realist. I mean, days of rain, you're kind of like, oh, okay. But hey, be happy. Pick yourself up. That's what the show is all about. That's what I'm all about. And I love reading your comments. I love reading your feedback. I love getting on our Facebook page. And if you haven't joined our Facebook page, it's Kickin' Life with Master Grogan. And it's all about the essence of the show. Every day is going to start with an inspirational post, quote, story, picture, something to help kick you in the tail to live your best kickin' life. And while I'm on it, we've got several other pages. And with Facebook, I mean, how many billions of people are on Facebook? And people, well, I'm not on Facebook because there's nothing but negative garbage out there. Well, it's what you click on. It's what you look for is what you're going to find, right? I think Jesus said that, didn't he? Yeah, what you look for, you'll surely find. You look for the negative, you're going to find the negative. You look for the positive, you're going to find the positive. Now, it should be just as easy to find the positive as it is the negative. However, I'm a realist here. There is a lot of negative garbage on social media. And some of you that follow the show a lot and read all my posts that we put on the Kickin' Live with Master Grogan page, you know this. I don't want to say I'm against the media, but it's almost like, I don't know, maybe that's my arch rival. You know, Batman's got the Joker. You know, Superman's got Lex Luger there. I can't even talk. Lex Luthor. There it is. Blah, blah, blah. And maybe I don't know. I haven't thought of that before. It just kind of came out. And it's not that I hate the media. It's not that I'm against the media. I'm against what the media stands for. How about that? and what they stand for, and I say this a lot, they do not care about you and your family. All they care about is ratings. If it bleeds, it leads. And the more controversy they can throw out there, the more people are going to watch that, the more ratings they're going to get. And what does that do to you? They play on your fear. If it's scary, if the world's going to hell in a handbasket, if this is going to happen, oh my gosh, everybody's got to tune in. And then, of course, I've got people say all the time, well, how do you know what's going on in the world if you don't watch the news? Listen, if something crazy happens, if something huge happens, I guarantee you'll find out about it. But I guarantee you this, if you continuously pollute your mind with garbage, if you have a garden and you keep throwing trash on that garden, you let weeds grow in that garden, what's going to happen to your garden? It's going to die. It's going to be suffocated. It's going to be toxic. Well, the same thing. If you continuously put negative, ugly, hateful, fear tactics and fear thoughts in your mind, it's essentially squishing out all the positive, right? It's killing, it's suffocating all the positive. Your mind is inundated now with negativity. It's out there, and there's a lot of it out there. And if you watch a lot of the news, and you could be on either side, I'm not saying Republican or Democrat or conservative or liberal. I'm not even going there. I'm just saying they all feed and thrive on ugliness. It's just not good. It's not good for building you. It's not good for helping you be your very, very best. And something I talk about a lot, almost every speech I give is all about, what you plant is what you're going to get. Zig Ziglar talks all the time about most of us need a checkup from the neck up. I know for the longest time I needed a severe checkup from the neck up. Yeah, I had a lot of weeds in that garden. I had a lot of negativity in there. And I always tried to be optimistic. I always tried to be positive. I always tried to be happy. But a lot of times I was faking it till I made it. But I just didn't know what I didn't know. But now I'm doing my very, very best. And I'm doing my best to pass it on to you. Put what you want in that garden. Put what you want in your mind. What you put in, you're going to get out. Example I give a lot. You plant onion seeds, gosh darn it, you're going to get onions. That's all there is to it. You plant negativity, you're going to get negativity. You plant strawberries, you're going to get strawberries, baby. You plant positive, you're going to get positive. What you put in is what you're going to get out. It's as simple as that. And it kind of gets back to the quote that started the show. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. If you plant negative, you're always going to get negative. You can't plant onion seeds and do a rain dance and, I don't know, parade around it. Come on, I want strawberries, I want strawberries, I want strawberries, I want strawberries. You can do all you want, but the seed you planted's an onion. Come on. I know, give you bang, right hook of reality there. But if you want something different, you can have something different, but you got to be willing to do something different. Because once again, definition of insanity. Hopefully you know it now. Come on, bring it to me. Say it with me, the same thing over and over. And I think Albert actually just said over and over again, but I like to say over and over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. If you want something different, you got to do something different. And here's the big thing. Ask yourself, am I worth it? Really, ask yourself, am I worth it? I'm letting you think about it. You know the answer. You darn right you're worth it. You darn right you're worth it. You were put on this planet with a special gift, with a purpose, something that nobody else has. You've got a gift. But unfortunately, a lot of us keep that gift inside. Why? Fear, self-doubt, and then we make that horrible excuse. Well, I'd love to be in better shape, but I don't have time. Oh, I'd love to read more. I would love to attend some conferences, but I just don't have time. I would love to spend more time with my kids, but I just don't have time. Now, I was the absolute worst for the longest time with giving quality time to my kids. I say that, it breaks my heart, but I used to be embarrassed about it. I used to not even talk about it because it was so embarrassing. Because, I look back and I was like, man, I was not the best father. I was not the best husband. I was not the best person I could have been because I was striving so hard to get this business rolling. And you have to put in the time on it. And then you heard me talk, you put in time here. I've spent that $86,400 or that's seconds over here. Well, once it's spent, man, it's gone. You can't be in two places. You can't do two different things at once. And, I'm a biggie on the multitasking. I'll do this. Well, when you're multitasking, you're really, you're shortchanging everything. And that's a whole nother show. I won't go into that in too much detail. But my thing is, It's in my book. In a minute, buddy. It's something I said to my buddy Austin. I get choked up every single time I say it. But I say it as a reminder to myself to remember how painful that was. And I say it to you. I'm bearing my soul here. I'm being vulnerable. I'm saying these things because if you're saying this, I want you to do a better job. I want you to be better than I am so you don't have these scars, so you don't feel bad. It was Austin would come up, hey, Dad, can we play? Can we play right now? And my response was, you know what? Yes, buddy. In a minute, buddy. In a minute, we will play. Let me just finish this right here. Okay, buddy? And he'd run off and, go and play. And 4, 5, 10 minutes later, he'd come back. Hey, Dad, has it been a minute yet? Can we play now? I'm like, oh, buddy, gosh darn, Daddy has got to finish this. I am so, so sorry. Let me finish this. And then, yes. And he'd run off and play and then come back. Dad, I got my glove now. Let's go play some catch. I'm like, okay. Just stay right here. Don't move. Let me finish this right here. I got to get this done, buddy. I'm so sorry. I know you don't understand, but let me get this done. Next thing I know, there's my little buddy laying there, asleep in the floor, laying on his glove like a pillow. And I would think, oh, gosh darn it. I just sat here and lied to him. I said in a minute, buddy. He was so excited. You know what? Tomorrow. I'll do a better job tomorrow. Yes, I will. Yes. Okay, I'll just keep working. He's going to sleep. I'll get this done, and tomorrow I'm going to do it. But I would love to lie to you and say tomorrow I did a better job. But most of the time I didn't. Most of the time I didn't. And you know what happens? That song, Cats in a Cradle? They grow up. Then they're not asking to play anymore. But you're like, but you got to do business work. You can't just play all day long. No, you're right. You can't play all day long. But what you can do, and something I've learned the hard way, but I'm getting better at, that's why I'm sharing it with you, something you can do, if you don't like what you've got, quit doing what you've always done. Do a better job of planning. Plan the days out better. Now, I'm still a work in progress. I'm getting much better at it, thanks to the help of my beautiful wife, who reminds me with my my third child, Emmett. He'll come up, hey, Dad, can we play? And I'll go to say, and my wife will look at me and say, in a minute, buddy? I'm like, you know what? The heck with this crap. Yes, it's business. Yes, it's important. Yes, it needs to get done. But gosh darn it, yes, so is playing with my kid. And I don't know, I'll get a congratulatory, good job for my wife. I'm proud of you. And thank you, hon. Thanks for that right hook of reality. I needed to hear it. So planning, utilization of time, how you spend that time. Yes, you have to do work. Yes, there are certain things that you have to do, especially if you're up against it on a deadline or your boss is barking down your neck to get this done. And you have to pay bills. You have to work in order to put food on the table and pay your car payment, your house payment, your electric bill. I get it all. Yes, you have to do those things. But how you use your time. Are you spending that free time on social media, listening and reading garbage? Are you watching the news, polluting your mind with ugly thoughts? Or are you putting that gosh darn device down and you're spending time with your kids and planning? You know what? I'm going to do this today. I'm going to get as much done as I can. And tomorrow, you know what? I'm working till here and then I'm spending time with my kids. Can you do it? Yeah, you can. But you have to plan it. And maybe you work Monday through Friday and your kids are at school Monday through Friday. Great. Get your work done while they're getting their work done at school. When you're done, spend quality time with them, doing activities with them. Heck, take them to the martial arts class. Yeah, that's it. Grogan's Martial Arts. Get empowered. Bring our life skills out. It's not only for the kids, it's for the parents too. The same message that I'm preaching to you now is the same message that our instructors, who are all homegrown, they've been with me a minimum 10 years, they're throwing out there. So collectively, a village is working together to help everybody live their best kick in life. But my point is, use your time. Use it wisely. Because, man, when it's gone, it's gone. And you want to think when you look back on that I do the best I could. And I know I'm probably too hard on myself. My wife says I'm too hard on myself, but I leave that as a reminder so I do a better job moving forward. I also let that reminder kind of burn in me a little bit, so I share that with you. If you're going through the same things, if you're doing the same things, if you're making the same gosh darn excuses, you're better than that, as Rocky says, as Master Grogan now says. You're better than that. And that's something I look in the mirror and I'd say it to myself. I know it sounds insane, but no one knows me better than I know me. And no one knows you better than you know you. You know what's in your heart. You know what's in your soul. When you look in that mirror, and that's kind of ties off, I just gave a speech earlier today at Meadowbrook Intermediate School in Bethalto, Illinois. We'll give a shout out to them. Meadowbrook, you were phenomenal. You were awesome. Ms. Wilkes, the principal there, beautiful, beautiful woman, does a great job. She's a great leader of that school. The staff was amazing. The kids were amazing. And I tell you what, I got all choked up too. We had, and I'm kind of sidebarring here, but one of our students, I give a shout out to Joey Payne there. He came up and broke a board in front of 400 kids. Yes! Good job, Joey. And then his mom, Ann Payne, who set the whole thing up, she came up. She never broke a board before. She rocked it out. Matter of fact, there's a video on my personal page, and then I shared it to our Bully Proof with Master Grogan page. And, of course, I'll end up sharing it to our Kickin' Life page as well. Got to get it on all those pages. But she broke a board. The crowd erupted. And then we had Mrs. Wilkes come up, the principal. And what a wonderful person. Yeah, you can just feel the energy. And I go around to school. I hit, I don't know how many different schools. My goal to hit as many as everyone that in this general area that I can, and empower these kids and empower the staff. But you can just tell she has got great control over the school, and it's not ruling with an iron fist, even though I said to the kids, she broke a board with an iron palm, which was fantastic. She's got that quiet justice about her, and you can feel it. And that quiet justice is, look, I'm here to empower these kids to be their very best. We're all going to collectively work together. If you're, on the team, man, we're going to get along. If you're not on the team, then we're going to have problems. And that's kind of what I felt in all the schools I've been to. It was good. So a big shout out to Meadowbrook and Mrs. Wilkes there. Thank you so very much for allowing me there. Anyway, I got kind of sidebarred there, but that's how it goes on the show, right? Squirrel. Okay, got it. Anyway, to get back to what I was talking about the looking in the mirror. And that was something I told the kids. And I handed the kids bully-proof bracelets, and it's all about when you're down, when you're looking down, you're feeling down, I want you to look at your wrist and see that thing says bully-proof. I want that to say, hey, you know what? I am a good person. I do look good. I am not dumb. I am not stupid. I'm awesome. I'm bully-proof. And it's kind of all about bringing that back up, because when we're looking down in self-defeat there, boom, we need to rise up, rise back up, get back up when the world knocks you down. So that's the whole part about respecting yourself, about being bully-proof. Just because someone calls you a name, just because someone says you're stupid, you're dumb, you're ugly, someone says they don't like you. Now, those are hurtful things, man. I'll tell you what, they hurt me too. But I want you to know, I want you to have enough confidence in yourself, enough belief in yourself to say, you know what? No. They don't know me. Only I know I. Only I know I. Only I know me, right? Or me know I. I'm the only person that knows me as well as I do. Nobody else knows me. No one understands my feelings. No one understands my heart. No one understands the person I am. So that person doesn't understand me. So by them saying I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm ugly, I don't have any friends, my show sucks, I hear those things. It hurts. But, it is what it is, I guess, right? They don't know me. They don't know you. Do not allow them to penetrate your armor. And that's all about building that belief up, that respect in yourself, looking in that mirror and saying, hey, only I know this person right here. And I know you better than anybody. You're looking in the mirror and you're telling yourself that. You're telling yourself, I am the coolest. I am the greatest. I am bully-proof. I am awesome. And that's pumping yourself up. Now, of course, you say, I don't know about saying I am the greatest. I am this and that. I'm not talking about float off in the clouds with an ego that's so big that it's a balloon that's floating all over the place. But I am saying pick yourself up enough to have that confidence and that courage and that belief in yourself to deflect all that negative energy, all that negative yuck, that toxic waste that comes your way from the media and the world and a lot of other things that are going on out there. And I promise you this. The more time you spend on the positive, the more time you spend on telling yourself you're beautiful, you're awesome, that time is going to start manifesting in your mind. That seed is going to be planted, and it's going to grow into something, because there's going to be a lot of negativity. Whatever you have the most of is what's going to win. If you have more weeds in your garden, what's going to win? The weeds. If you have more seeds in that garden, more positive seeds that are going to grow into something and fertile soil, and you continue to nurture and cultivate those seeds, what's going to happen? They're going to grow into something beautiful. It's as simple as that. Zig Ziglar talks about what you put in is what you're going to get out. That's true. There's nothing truer than that. Getting back to what we talked about, though. I know we get sidetracked and I get all excited. And the first-time listeners of the show, Bear with me here. I get all, I stand up when I do the show. I can't sit down because I have so much energy. The producers think I'm nuts. I'm literally dancing around the studio here. I have to get an extended earphone cord thingamajanger here. That's the technical term, thingamajanger. And because I'm always moving around because I want to bring that much energy. I want you to feel it through. I know you hear my voice, but if you want to see the videos I do, I don't know how many different Facebook Live videos, and I bring just as much energy and passion into those as well because this is what I love doing. I love this. And I do this because I want to empower as many people as I can to achieve their personal best, to believe in themselves, stand up to bullying. But most importantly, the biggest bully we have to stand up to is the bully in the mirror, ourselves, with our limiting beliefs and our self-doubt. And what I mean by that, limiting beliefs are when somebody says something and something negative and we believe it. That is limiting who we are. That limits our belief in ourselves. And I've had my limiting beliefs. I've had them for the longest time. But I keep fighting them, baby. I keep fighting them. And every time I am able to defeat those limiting beliefs, man, I feel empowered. Some days, it's a harder fight than others. It truly is. And it's on those days that when you feel the best. The other days I wake up, I feel good. Yeah. But what I do, I continue to build on that. Build on that good. Almost like building up, your bank account for a rainy day, so to speak. You're building up your positive credits. You're building up your, if you want to talk about chips, if you're a gambler there, you're building up your bully-proof chips, your confidence chips, because at some point in time, you're going to need those chips. So on the good days, keep building, baby. On the bad days, keep fighting, and you just want to, some days just break even, but that's good. But of course, it gets back to what we talk about, essence of time, what you're doing with that time. And if you feel bad about what you're doing with that time, it's going to continue to beat you down. 86,400 seconds in a day. You're giving $86,400, something more valuable than time. I mean, there's nothing more valuable than time. I'm sorry. More valuable than money. Got twisted up there. And how you spend that time. Back to the quote. I'm going to say it again. Hopefully you remember it. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. If you waste your time on social media with ugliness, and there's a lot of positive out there, but there is a lot of ugliness. And I'm guilty of getting sucked into the battles too. But that's why I say it to you. So you hold me accountable, and I want to hold you accountable. We're going to hold each other accountable. And then we're going to make our society, that's my goal, right? My purpose, make our society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live by empowering kids and adults to believe in themselves, respect others, to live their best kicking life, and to achieve their personal best. That's it, man. That is it right there. So what are we doing with that time? Are we spending that time on something we can be thankful for, glad about, or are we spending that time on something that's hurting us? It's up to us. It's a choice. It's a choice. It's a choice. Are you planting the right seeds? Are you respecting yourself about doing enough for yourself? Are you taking time out to meditate? Are you in meditation? I've never done that before. And it's not easy, I'm not going to lie to you, but it is simple as, and meditation doesn't mean you have to, climb a mountain and get in a Zen-like presence. It can be as simple as turning off the radio in the car, or putting your device down and just sitting there. Inhale, exhale. 10 times. Getting an app on your phone I got this Relax Melodies app. Man, it's fantastic. And you to choose your different melodies. Maybe today you feel like you want to hear the ocean, or maybe you want to hear a creek or a stream, or you want to hear the rain or the wind blowing through the trees. Maybe you want to hear a harp. Maybe you want to hear a flute. Maybe you hear fire crackling. Whatever. You choose your melody, man. And that it does something with the mind. It's almost like rebooting your computer, shutting down your computer. Defragging your computer, getting all the fragmentation out of it. You're doing that same thing. But a lot of times we don't do that. And the computer we have between our ears, that computer, baby, most of the time works overtime and has so much going on. And I'll throw this at you. This will give you a wake-up call. Do you know the number of thoughts a person has in an average day? Do you? You ready? 75 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Unbelievable. Now you think about that. Does that computer need some shutdown time? Yeah, And if you're hyperactive like I am and you're constantly going and doing and this and that and bang, bang, boom, I probably have, 150,000 thoughts. But of course, I've had it on the other side where I've crashed and burned many, many times. I've redlined too many times. Matter of fact, a podcast we did not too long ago talked about that, about self-respect and about redlining and about doing too much and burning yourself out. Yeah, that can happen too. That can happen. You've got to take care of yourself. But it gets back to time. And it gets back to, what do you truly want? If you enjoy that negativity and all that garbage that's out there, keep putting it in there. If that's what you like, do it. I'm not one to tell you not to do it if that's what you enjoy. But I think most of us don't like that stuff. It makes us feel bad. When we feel bad, we're not functioning at a high level. We're not functioning at a high level. We're not being the best parent. We're not being the best kid. We're not being the best role model, support coach. We're not being the best person we can be. And we're not living our best kick in life. And we're not achieving our personal best. And that's what we want to do. And once again, that is the whole essence of what? The Kickin' Life Podcast. I got to keep throwing that at you because that's what we're all about here. It is. Now, as always, and I want to mention this because I love reading the comments and the feedback. And my goal is for you to share this with as many people as you can to continue. And yeah, we're going to continue building the show, but it's about building the message, getting that message out so others can live their best kick in life. And how that ties into making our society a happier, healthier, and safer place to live is if people are happier, they feel better about themselves. If they're healthier mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, they're healthier, they're going to feel happier. If they're happier, they're going to feel healthier. And those two go back and forth, back and forth, and back and forth. And of course, happy, healthy people make society a safer, happier, better place to live. Happy, healthy people aren't shooting up schools. Happy, healthy people aren't going in and punching their boss out. Yeah, maybe their boss does deserve it, but you're finding a better way to deal with it. Now, with that being said, I've had plenty of bosses I wanted to punch out. I'm a human being. I've got emotions. I've got plenty of critics I'd like to punch out. I'm not kidding. But I try and find a better way to do it. Now, that's just my fighter spirit. I've had to, fight my whole life for everything. And that's what's kind of built it up. But with that being said, that's my aggressive nature. But I've done a better job of coddling that. Even though I'm still aggressive, still a fighter, and still ready to go, I need to do a better job. Because that doesn't do anything. Just because I punched this person out, even though they probably deserved it, and they probably earned it, and maybe they were entitled to it, I don't know. It doesn't really do any good. Okay, yeah, you think, man, I knocked his butt out, I feel good. That's going to wear off. It is. Almost like you got to get that last line in on Facebook. You got to get that last jab in. Oh, yeah, well, that person, and that's where I've failed miserably, I'm a fighter, so people, if I get engaged in a fight on social media, I got to get that last word in, man. I can never get the last word in. I've got too many other things I need to be doing. I got too many people I want to help and inspire and empower to live their best life. If I'm arguing with this person on Facebook because I've got to win by getting that last horrible, ugly word in. And here's the thing about fighting, folks. And I'm talking, when I used to fight a lot, and it was not just going around beating people up, but it was competitive. If you allow your opponent to dictate the fight, bring you down to their level, or fight their fight, as we always called it, you're going to lose every time because they're fighting with their strengths, which is your weaknesses. Yeah. So in other words, you get engaged in a battle on someone who is used to being a troll or what they call online trolls or haters or all the other ugly stuff out there. They're used to doing it, man. They know what to do to bring you down to their level. They are a professional troll. I'm going to go there with that. So they know what to do to bring you to their level. So they know how to control you. So they're going to win that fight, which is going to make you even more angry. And the more angry, the more time you spend on that, that's once again, less time you're spending on things that could be productive. Less time you could be spending on things that are going to be helpful. Less time you could spend on things that could be with your family and feeling good about yourself. I failed those fights. And of course, when I feel like I'm losing, all I've ever known my whole life is anytime I've been defeated, I just know to dig deeper, dig deeper, dig deeper. You get knocked down, you get your butt back up. That's all I've ever known. And that's all I've ever done. And that's a great recipe for success in the real world as far as success when the world knocks you down, because it's going to. However, it's a gosh darn recipe for disaster when you're arguing with somebody on social media. Terrible. And the truth is, up until we just started talking about it, I never thought of it as a recipe. So thanks, folks. You're allowing me to bring that out. So I'm thinking more about it because I've got some haters. I've got some trolls. And, of course, I'm the kid. I want to jump through and smack them one. But what good is that going to do? I've got to ignore them, completely ignore them. And, of course, I have some people say, yeah, well, easier said than done. That person, I get it. Yeah, everything's easier said than done. Yeah, managing your time, easier said than done. The analogy of 86,400 seconds and dollars and all that good stuff we're talking about in a day. Easier said than done. There's not one thing in life that isn't easier said than done. So throw that excuse away. Get that darn excuse, and that's all it is, an excuse, out of your I don't know, your arsenal, if you will. Throw it out and get something better. We kind of circled around there, didn't we? I had to stop and think. Man, gosh darn. Feeling good? I'm feeling good. All right, so we're getting close to the end here, so I just want to tie back in. What is our quote, our main quote of the show? If you do what you've always done, you always get what you've always got. And that's by Jim Rohn. And Tony Robbins says that a lot during just about everything he does because it's about changing the mindset. He calls it neuralistic programming. You're changing your mindset. You're changing the thought pattern. You're changing your blueprint or your paradigm or whatever you've been born with. And there's nothing wrong with that. But, as a baby, think about this, folks, for a second. As a baby, they're a blank slate. They don't know anything about anything. We paint on that canvas as adults and make that baby. We paint their blueprint. We paint their paradigm. We paint that for them, just like it was painted for us, and just like it was probably painted for our parents and our grandparents and so on down the line. However, as adults, we have the ability to open up a new canvas, to go through and erase some of that stuff. And if that stuff, a lot of it's in permanent Sharpie marker, I get it. It's hard to get rid of. But darn it, the more we work at it, the more we can start to see change. The more we can start to have and live the life we want to live. But if we continue down the same path, we're always going to get there. Good or bad. Change it up. Change up that canvas. And it's not easy. Get rid of that excuse. We already talked about it. But you can do it. And I'm living proof of that. And so is every successful person you've ever seen. And when I say successful person, I want you to money and fame and glory and all that stuff. That's all good, if that's what you're looking for. But one person's perceived glory and fame and success is another person's misery. You don't know. What I'm talking about is the people that you admire that are good people that are doing good for the world. A person, and I often hear kids, I'll ask, what they want to be, and I want to be famous. And I'm like, what does that mean? And they'll name off these celebrities, and I'm not going to give some of the celebrities they name justice because I think, man, there is no way in heck I would have my kids associate with this person that they're claiming to be famous or success. So same thing. Parents, if your kids have this idol or this role model who's a horrible person that you would not let them play with as a kid, and they're going to have those. I get that. I'm not saying, you can't have that as a celebrity. Just ask them, what do they see out of that? Try and help them see a better picture. And you paint a better picture for them. That's the only way they're going to know because they're kids. That canvas is still being worked on. Our canvas, it's not final. It's not final until you're dead. When you're dead, you're done. I mean, that's it. Regardless if you accomplished everything you wanted to accomplish, you achieved everything you wanted to achieve, it's done, man. It's over. There are no do-overs. But we're still a work. We're still a work in progress. We can still change that blueprint. But it's how we spend our time, and it's what we do. And if we don't like what we're getting, we've got to be willing to change it. And you can do it. I believe in you. That's the reason I do this show. I want you to believe in yourself. That's the reason I say it, so I can hear myself say it. And I'm going to encourage you to say that to others. Yes, you want to help others, but gosh darn, when you're saying it, it's the old thing. You got one mouth and two ears. You should listen twice as much as you talk. And I've got a problem with that. I talk too much. I get that. But I like to say with the two ears, when I'm speaking, I'm listening and I'm taking it all in with the two ears. as a reminder to me to do my very best, as a reminder to me to stay and do the things that I'm talking about. So that's why I always encourage when you are able to help somebody out, help somebody else, you're saying those words. You need to be listening with both ears of what you're saying. And sometimes, here's something that someone suggested many, many times. And I guess that people have Alexas and all those other things in their house that record everything you say. If you were to go back and listen to your conversations, listen to the things that come out of your mouth, would you be happy or would you be embarrassed? That kind of gets back to the grandma. It was called the grandma test. I heard this years and years ago. It was, if you would be embarrassed for your grandma to read in the paper what you said and what you did the night before, would you still do it? Now, I wish I would have heard the grandma test a long, long time ago, because my poor grandma, oh my God, she would have beat me to death if those things would have been printed in the paper, right? I'm admitted it. I screwed up a lot and made some poor choices, but I'm learning from those choices. I didn't like what I was getting, so I wanted to change what I was doing, and that's what I want you to do. And these, like this Motivational Kickin' Life podcast, there were shows and podcasts and things like this out years before this one came out. But I knew nothing about them. Why? I chose my time doing things that, weren't helpful. That's why I'm spending as much time as I can now to help out others. But as I say that, once again, one mouth, two ears, I'm hearing what I'm saying. And I want to make sure that I don't embarrass Grandma, even though Grandma had passed away a couple years ago. If she were to read the paper, I want her to read good things. My kids, I want to paint the right pictures on their canvas. I want to say the right things to plant the right seeds in their brain. But I want to make sure I spend the right time. Now, I'm a human being. I sometimes get caught up in complaining about things, but the more I work at it, the more I'm able to catch myself. The more I work at it, the more I'm able to say, wait, whoa, stop. Is this the type of seeds I want to plant in the garden? Is this the type of picture I want to paint on my kid's canvas? And the more I work at it, the better I get. Just like anything else. You put in the time, you put in the effort, you have the confidence, belief in yourself, to discipline yourself, to make the right choices, man, you're going to start doing it without thought. That's a habit. Just like you may have gotten a habit of complaining and making excuses. Excuse, I don't have enough time. You got in a habit of doing it. Habits are hard to break. They are. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not easy, but you can do it. It's almost, here we go, it's almost unfair. It is unfair that good habits are very hard to make, but yet very easy to break. Or bad habits, for some reason, are extremely easy to make, and gosh darn, are they hard to break. They are. But here's another way to look at it. Bad habits, easy to make, very difficult to live with. Good habits, hard to make, but man, are they good to live with. Think about that for a second, right? So work hard on those good habits, and that's what's going to help your life. It's going to help you become who you were born to be. It's going to help you become your very, very best. It's when you're your best, when you're feeling your best. Obviously, when you're feeling good, baby, you're looking good. There's a difference. If you're frowning, man, you don't look good. I know you don't feel good. When you're smiling, especially on those days when you don't have a lot to smile about, when you're smiling, oh man, something about your whole face changes. It's almost like a radiant glow comes out, and then your heart starts feeling good. Yeah, now you're starting to feel good. When you're feeling good, I promise you, man, you are looking good. You're looking great. Darling, you look marvelous. Yes, you do. Silly, it's goofy, I know, but I'm goofy as can be. Bringing that in there because we all need to laugh more. We all need to smile more. We all need to be happier more. But how do we do it? Well, one, we got to take accountability for our actions. We got to believe in ourselves. We got to pick ourselves up when we've been knocked down, when the world's kicking our butts. And that's what the Kickin' Life show is all about. That's what the Kickin' Life podcast is all about. That's what I'm doing. But I want you to pay it forward and do that for somebody else. Say, hey, you know what? I know you're having a rough day. I feel sorry for you. I was having a rough day yesterday. I listened to this Kickin' Life podcast. Man, that Master Grogan guy, he's a little Looney Tunes, but man, can he bring it. This will help you. And then, of course, they share some of the messages that I shared with you. Just like these messages were shared with me by some of my mentors. I'm sharing them with you. Share them with somebody else. There we go. All right. Well, I'm getting the nod here, so it means we're closing in. One last time. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always got. And, of course, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. You want something better, gosh darn it, you got to do something better. And you can do it. I believe in you. I want you to say, I believe in me. I believe in me. Yes. That's the empowerment. Sorry about that if I screamed in your ear. I just got excited. So, as always, folks, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be with me. It means the world to me. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I love you. I love what you stand for, and I want you to do your best. So until we talk again, you get out there and do your best, and I promise you'll be your very best. God bless you. God bless your loved ones. Chat with you real soon. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening to another exciting Kickin' Life podcast. This is Master Rich Grogan, your Kickin' Life guru, reminding you can find our podcast online at kickinlifepodcast.com or through iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, or wherever you get your podcast. Tune in next week. Another exciting show coming your way. In the meantime, you get out there and do what you do best, and I promise you'll be your very best. Have a blessed day, everybody. Talk to you real soon.
This podcast was a presentation of LightUpMedia.fm.